Namaste.
Namaste and welcome. Welcome to my heart and welcome to our new meditation. Let us begin with a short meditation. Focus your attention at the sun center, the point between your eyes. O great spirit, saints and sages of all times, of all places, O ye pathmakers of old, Namaste. We call forth to you at this time. Sweep clear our path. May our communication be clear. May our communication be harmonious. May our communication be joy-filled. May our time together be blessed. May all beings in all realms of existence be blessed as we lift and vivify our own vibrations. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Once upon a time, in the ever-present now, a very, very, very long time ago, there lived a dragon, a serpent dragon. That dragon's name was Vritta. He was lying around like serpent dragons do, coiled at the very base of the ground upon which he lived. And one day, sitting there doing nothing, a thought rose in his mind. They say I am a part of all of this. All of this. He pondered and pondered and pondered. If that's the case, I must be living within every one of the creatures that are here upon this earth. I think I'm going to capture them and hold them under my sway. I'm getting a little bored sitting here. And so Vritta, the great serpent dragon, sets up in an instant 99 fortresses. And he draws in all of the water from the earth, all of the rain, the rivers, the lakes, the streams, the oceans are all within his power. He draws up all of the water from all the beings in the earth. They are all within his power. Feeling mighty sure of himself, he starts to just sit, observe, and soon the earth begins to crack. The oceans begin to crack. The mountains begin to crack. All of the beings of the earth, they dry up, they become very shriveled. They begin to crack. For they have no water. Their creativity has dried up. Their music has dried. The vivifying force of their life is no more. It is held captive by Vritta, the serpent dragon. Off they go. What can they do? They gather together, they pray, they fast. Not too hard to fast, all the food is dried out. They chant mantra. They call upon all the powers that be and say, help us, please help us to gain back the waters of life, to gain back our creativity. Help us, please. And they are heard. The gods gather together in the heavens, and they send forth Lord Indra. And Indra engages in a great battle with Vritta. And of course, as the story goes, the battle continues and continues and continues. And suddenly Indra stops. He spreads his breath upon the land. He spreads the sound of the universe upon the land. And within the fortress, the principal fortress that Vritta has built, the fortress at the Mars center that is holding all the waters, this iron gate, comes a tiny, tiny, tiny little hole. And the hole cracks open. The hardened clay cracks open. And the waters of life pour forth, not only from the main gate, but from all the fortresses that Vritta has built. The waters of life pour forth. The creativity of all the people, all the beings, all the plants, all the animals, it pours forth. The life-giving vibration of the prana of the earth, the chi, the water comes forth. The cracks in the earth heal. The people begin to smile. The new green plants sprout forth from the ground. The trees come back to life with their lovely leaves unfurling. Vritta breathed his breath. Indra breathed his breath upon the land and broke the hold that Vritta had over the land. Indra breathed his breath and broke the hold that the serpent had over the land, over all the people. Well, everybody was mighty happy with that. And so Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva came, and all the gods came, and they took a vote, and they named Indra the king of the gods. Now, remember that. It's important later on. But, you know, if you were just one of the guys, and you saved the earth, and you saved all the beings on the earth, and they named you king of the gods, yeah, it might get to the ego a little bit, perhaps. We shall see later on. What does this have to do with you? What does it have to do with your life? Well, the story tells us, the great story tells us that Vritta, the sleeping serpent, the sleeping dragon, this lies at the base of your astral spine. Vritta, the source of your creativity, lies at the base of your astral spine. Vritta, the source of your creativity, or if you prefer, Kundalini, the source of your creativity. Kriya, the source of your creativity, lies at the base of your spine. And when that creativity moves smoothly and harmoniously up the spine, the creativity flows from you. The creativity flows within you with ease, with happiness, with graciousness. But when there is a blockage, a thought form, for example, that takes a hold, that captures all of the other chakras in your spinal system, in your chakric system. The blockage holds the energy. It holds the waters of life. It holds your waters of creativity from shining forth, from pouring forth. And it blocks. The energy becomes blocked. And you become thirsty. The energy most often is blocked at the lower chakras. The Saturn chakra, the base of the spine, where we set up the energy for all of our life, the structure of our life. The Jupiter chakra, which moves forth in expansion of the structure of our life. And the Mars chakra, which we need most. We need most as earthlings. It is the Mars chakra that gives us the energy to live upon the earth. It is the Mars chakra that gives you the energy to go out every day, to walk, to take care of all the things in your life that you wish to take care of. Without that energy, you cannot meditate. Without that energy, you cannot feed the body or take care of the body or nurture the body. The energy at the Mars chakra. That energy at the Mars chakra also can be the energy of your opposing things, of your fighting. Fighting what? Oh, fighting those whose opinion differs from yours, fighting those whom you feel differently about. Because why? Because they don't agree with your thoughts. It's just a thought. Do not let the energy of that thought block your horizon of awareness. Do not let the energy of that thought block you, block your creativity. And so we say that as Vritta lies at the base of the spine, as the serpent dragon lies at the base of the spine, so too it lies at the base of your spine. And you need to look at your life. One needs to look at their life and say, now, what can I do? What do I need to do to bring forth the creativity in my life? What need I do to bring forth the beauty in my life? What need I do to bring forth my meditation practice, my spiritual unfolding? What do I need to do to become happier, healthier, more vibrant? The first thing may be to let go of your concerns and your worries about the opinions of others. Let go of your concerns and your worries about what they're doing. Doesn't matter. They like you, fine. They don't like you, fine. How are you pleased with yourself and the way you are living your life? How are you pleased with yourself? Now, well, what is this about? What does that mean? How am I pleased with myself? Every day, you must take the time to ask yourself, am I happy today? Am I content today? If I'm not happy, why am I not happy? I had one day this week, something happened that in its form has really never happened before to this extent in my life. I was trying to make tomato paste. I don't know if you've ever tried to make tomato paste, but you just take some fresh tomatoes and you boil them down at a low temperature for a long period of time. Well, I turned on the heat a little too high, and I left on the tomatoes a little too long. And smell wafts up to my office, and I think, oh, I better go down and see what's going on. Well, I made tomato paste all right. You know, a nice thick layer of it all over the bottom of the pan. 5 times scrubbing by hand, heating up the water, you know, all the tricks you do to get the burnout. 3 times in the washer. Was my mind irritated? I must say my mind became irritated until I found the humor in it, and I thought, now this is pretty funny. This is giving you a great opportunity for spiritual practice. But I'll tell you, the mind felt like, I don't want my spiritual practice to be scrubbing a pot. And then the mind said, well, do you think you could scrub the pot and be happy? And the answer was, not at this moment. Go back, balance, chant, mantra. I thought, all right, maybe the mantra will help. And it did. But we must use the opportunities that arise in our life, the opportunities that arise in our everyday life for the grounds for our spiritual practice. And so as I looked at the end of that day and I said, well, now, you know, were you happy today, happier than before? And I said, well, I don't know that I did a very good job of that today. At least I laughed. At least I laughed a little bit. But that was nothing. That was nothing. There are wildfires burning all over the world. There are humans dying, there are animals dying, there are beings of all the air, the earth, the fire, the water, the ether, leaving the earth in groves and groves and groves and groves and groves. There are people who are sick, there are people who are suffering, people who are having a hard time. Why was this mind obsessed with scrubbing the homemade tomato paste off the bottom of the pan? Why did this mind become imbalanced and agitated about scrubbing the tomato paste off the bottom of the pan? And then 3 days later, when I finally got the pan cleaned, my beloved husband, who knows timing impeccably, waited to say, maybe we should buy organic tomato paste. Maybe you don't need to make it from scratch. And I said, good thinking. Good thinking. Let me bring my life back into balance. And let me look at that example that lived with me literally 3 days of cleaning and, one time after another, after another, after another, after another. And asking myself, how often is that necessary to turn inward and scrub the personality, to change what you are thinking, to change what you are doing? How often is it necessary? Don't let the thoughts that you're stuck on, the thoughts that keep rising in your mind, don't let them become your burnt tomato paste on the bottom of the pan. Do not let those thoughts that keep rising in your mind become the burnt tomato paste. Let them go, soften them. Soften the thoughts that come into your horizon of awareness before they get burnt on the pan, before they become the block in your spinal column, before they become so strong that they block all the creative energy within you, that they block all your capacity for joy. And what are these thoughts? The thoughts are simple. They're thoughts of anger. They're thoughts of hatred. They're thoughts of being unforgiving. They're thoughts of criticism of others. They're thoughts of disdain and disrespect. They're thoughts of fear. We must let go. You and I, we must let go of those thoughts. And in the letting go, there must be a Kriya that you can perform, something that you can do to dissolve those thoughts away, to let those thoughts go so that they do not stick harshly, that the blockage within your spine does not become stuck so that you cannot move to the higher chakras. And so we go back to the story of Rita and Indra through his breath was able to take just a tiny little break in the wall that Rita had created. And with that tiny break within the wall, he was able to pour forth the energy so that all the blockages dissolved again and the creativity poured forth. And so first, recognize that within you lies the sleeping dragon. Within you lies the potentiality to have your creativity blocked, to have your creativity stopped. You are Aham Brahmasmi. You are the creative principle. too often that creation becomes a churning, a churning, a churning, a churning, a churning, a churning. You've seen this, you've heard this. People who buy things compulsively. They go to the store and they buy, whether it's shoes or clothes or books, or obviously I have a book problem here. Shoes or clothes or books. They buy compulsively. There is a compulsion, a blockage that is coming. The key is to allow the energy to ascend upward and to rotate on your spine, to rotate up and down and up and down and up and down. The center of the spine, the sesamotic channel, not to the right, not to the left, but in the center. And so it begins, as we talked, through reflection, through tarka, through saying, well, what do I need to change? And I know for months now, we've been talking about the need to change what you're doing, to look at your life and say, what is the simplest thing? What's the easiest thing? What's the thing I need to do now to change? What do I need to change at this time? And it's not, I'm going to make all the changes today, then I'm never going to have to do it again. It's not, I have to make one big change and that big change is going to change everything else in my life. But it is seeing where that little infinitesimal change can be that will change the direction of your life. And so maybe the first place is to let go of your criticism of others. They have an opinion you don't like, let them have that opinion. They say something you don't like, let them have the freedom to speak. Do not stay in the poisonous stream of their consciousness. It's not necessary. If somebody is speaking cruelly or writing cruelly or visualizing, sending you videos or doing something like this that is cruel and mean and confining to your consciousness, you don't have to accept it. You don't have to read it. You don't have to ingest it. Thank you. No, thank you. Go back from whence thou came. Make yourself neutralize yourself. Make yourself no longer, so that you are no longer relative to those states of consciousness. If it means disconnecting from them, not following them on Facebook, if it means not following them on Instagram or Snapchat or whatever the latest thing is, stop doing that. If it means changing who you're speaking to because of the topics or how you're speaking or what you're reading, do that. Make the change. Draw into your life those things which are vivifying and helpful and enlightening for you. There are plenty of sacred texts. There are many, many languages to learn. There are many countries to go visit virtually. There is an enormous amount of history to be read, to be studied, to be reflected upon. There's the great science of astrology, the great science of Sanskrit, the great practices of mantra. Occupy your mind with those things which will bring you joy, which will bring you happiness, which will lift your vibrations, and life will become different for you. I know that now is a time for many of you that's challenging. There are many things happening in the world that are confusing, frightening, emotional. But you are good and you have the strength. You have the capacity to bring joy into your life. You have the ability to bring happiness into your life. Truly, you do. You can and will and do have that capacity. Remember that story. Indra did not have to knock down all of the barriers. There was one little tiny petite hole through which a crack of light came, through which water poured forth, and the barriers broke down. Thus, the same is true for you. It is not necessary to have all of these creations of yours running around your universe. It is not necessary for you to create and create and create and create and create to be happy. But it is necessary for you to have the life-flowing energy of creativity flowing within your spinal column, up and down, up and down, up and down, and vivifying your entire being, blessing your entire being. Now you remember Indra. They named him the king of the gods. Remember we talked about that. Well, because he was king of the gods, Indra got a little puffed up. You know, everybody was so thankful to him that he broke free the waters of life, that they truly, 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 oh, there was a lot of adulation, you know, every place they went, oh, Indra, oh, Indra, oh, Indra. So Indra decides he's going to build a house. Not exactly a house, a palace, you know, worthy of a king, worthy of the king of the gods. So up to the higher realms he goes, and he calls upon Vishvakarman. Vishvakarman is the celestial architect, or if you will, the celestial craftsman. He's responsible for everybody who draws these beautiful architectural plans and builds them. So he works really hard with Indra. They build a plan for the castle, the palace, and they begin to work. In a very short time, it's finished. And Indra comes through. Now, Vishvakarman's very pleased. He's done exactly what Indra wants. But they get a quarter of the way through, and Indra says, well, no, you know, why don't we add a little bit here? Now, I'd really like a doorway there. No, I really want some windows up above. Yes, Your Majesty. Yes, Your Majesty. Vishvakarman goes off, does that. Guess what happens? Next time Indra goes through the palace, his mind sees something it doesn't like, and he has to make another change. And it happens again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Now, you know, Vishvakarman is really used to picky clients. He's used to very, 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 he deals with the elitist of the elite in the world, right? So he's really used to having to do the best for the best. But he becomes very tired. It's too much. And he goes up into the higher realms, where he sees Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Now you must know about these people, these beings. Brahma is the creator. Brahma is alive and well within you. The state of consciousness of creation is Brahma. And within you, Brahma lives. Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. Vishnu, for most of us upon the earth, is the hard state of consciousness. Vishnu is that which sustains our creations. And Shiva, Lord Shiva, dissolves away that which we have created, which we have sustained for a period. At some point, it comes the time of dissolving. And this is hard for humans because we love to create. Some of us love to sustain, but very few of us recognize the time when it is to dissolve something. And when we do, there is often a sadness that comes with the dissolving of our creations. Anyway, back to the story. Indra is creating his palaces. Vishvakarman is exhausted, and he goes up to see Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva and asks for their help. He says, I've done the best I can, but he's simply not satisfied. Can you do something for me? Sure. Of course we can. Not to worry. You just rest here. We'll take care of it. So, a little bit later, on the front door of the palace, Indra's servants go to the door. And there's a little Brahmin boy standing at the door. Little Brahmin boy, very handsome little Brahmin boy, about 12 years old. He says, I'd like to see your master. I've heard so much about Indra. I would like to see him. Oh, sure, come in. Indra will see anybody, come on in. You're a Brahmin boy, he'll see you. So they take him in. Nice palace here you have, the boy says. Very nice palace. This is a pretty good palace, he says to Indra. This is better than any of the other Indra palaces I have seen. And Indra's eyes go up. What do you mean? Better than the other Indra palaces you have seen? You're a 12-year-old boy. What are you talking about? The little boy just smiles. Yeah, it's better than any place I've seen so far. Little boy looks up. He sees an ant crossing the floor of the palace. Pretty soon there's 2 ants. And Indra is kind of embarrassed. What are these ants doing in his palace? And he starts to say something to his servants. And before he can say anything, the little boy laughs and says, here they come. Here they come. And a whole army instantly appears, a whole army of ants coming into the palace. And Indra says, what do you mean, young man? Here they come. Oh, my Lord Indra, these ants, they are all of the Indras before you. They are all of the Indras before you that have been born, that have created, that have died, and have been reborn, created, and died. These hundreds of thousands of ants, these are the Indras before you. Lord Indra sat back in shock, looks up and sees suddenly, the young Brahmin has turned into Lord Brahma. He looks up And at the door come in Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva. And they say, Indra, you must stop with all of the massive creations. We can only sustain so much. And then our brother Shiva will come and dissolve away. Make sure that that which you are creating is something that you wish to sustain. Make sure that that which you are creating is something that will be of great benefit to you. Indra, in his shock, being shocked and appalled, decides he's going to give up everything, give up the palace, give up his kingship, and go off and be an ascetic. His wife doesn't like that, and she says, no, 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 no. Turns to Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva and says, please help me. Talk some sense into the man. And Shiva says to him, you still don't get it, do you? The life of a householder. This is your path, Indra. The life of a householder. This is how you learn. This is how you will grow. Be kind to your wife. Be kind to your brothers, your sisters, your mother, your father, your grandparents, your children, the people who help to support your palace. Be kind to them. Be wise. Grow in wisdom. Study. Meditate. Fulfill your dharma. And all will be well. And thus ends the story. And thus ends the teaching for all of us. We need to know our dharma. What is your duty? What is your duty at this time in your life? Some of you have the duty of being a parent. And I have heard from several of you recently talking about, I don't know how to get my studies in, how to get my practice in. My children are young. And I don't know how to balance everything. And I will tell you that I have been hearing this from women and men 25, 30 years. And some of those people came to study when their children were first born, before their children were born. And now their children are at university. Now their children are married. Now their children are having children. And the dharma of the parent at the time the child is born, or 2 or 3 years old, it is different than when the child has reached adulthood, when the soul has reached adulthood and they are in their 20s. And so for you, you must know what is your responsibility now, at this time. What is your dharma? What is your duty? And so, yes, being a parent is different when a soul is 3 years old or 5 years old or 7 years old or 10 years old than when they're 25 or 26 or 30. Use the ground that you are living on. Use your opportunity, your everyday life as the grounds for your spiritual life. And if you burn the tomato paste, clean the tomato paste off of the burnt pan, and hopefully do it with a little bit more gentle attitude than I had at some of the time I was cleaning this week. And if you see that you're not gentle, if you see that your mind is getting irritated, then just stop a minute and pick up and go back again and start over again. Stop blaming yourself. Don't blame yourself. Just let go and start again. And so we will end our time together now by entering into a meditation. We're going to have a meditation that we will share that will allow you to vivify your being, to lift your being, to cleanse your being, and to dissolve away those blockages so that the sleeping dragon When the sleeping dragon at the base of the spine awakens, it does so smoothly, surely, swiftly, and with great, great ease. This is a rough time. It's a rough time on the earth. Remember in your meditations all of the animals, all the plants, in addition to the humans that are having a difficult time right now. It is a bit of a challenge. But it is in these times that we must find refuge in our practice. It is in these times that we find refuge in the meditation. It is in these times that we find refuge in the ancient stories that tell us, you can lift. Yes, you will come back again and again and again and have the opportunity again and again and again to improve your life. Improve it now at this time. And use whatever happens in your daily life as an opportunity to inspire yourself, to lift yourself, to feel stronger, more vibrant, happier, more content, to allow Ananda to flow into your life. Namaste. And now, if you will, please, we will switch the camera. And so if you choose, you will be able to focus your attention at the altar. Or you may wish to close your eyes and focus your attention at the sun center. Place your hands on your lap with the index finger and the thumb brought together in the Om Mudra, and the other fingers facing out towards the center of your body. Turn your head to the left with a double exhalation. Bring your head back to the center. Begin to watch your breath. On the next inhalation of the breath, pull the energy from the limbs of the body to the trunk of the body. From the trunk of the body, pull the energy into the spinal column. From the base of the spine, pull the energy up to the sun center. Move that energy as a golden ball of light out in front of you about 3 feet, and sweep it around counterclockwise, encasing your entire body in golden light. Do this 3 times. Expand that golden light. Ascend above the room that you are in. Above the building you are in. Above the continent. Above the earth plane. Continuing to ascend until you are at the high place, as high as you are able to go. And find yourself in the grove of the meditators. the grove of the ancient meditators. Call upon your chosen form of the divine, your Ishta Devata, and see your Ishta with you in this grove. Feel the light of the divine pouring down upon you, vivifying you and strengthening you. You see in front of you a shrine. Go to the shrine. As you approach, you are aware that it is filled with light. It is the color of healing for you. Enter this healing shrine. See the color of healing on the walls, the floor, shining in the light towards you. Walk to the back of the room and see a pool of healing light, fed by a waterfall of healing light. Step into the pool and walk towards the waterfall. Feel all of your clothing dissolving away, being cleansed. And stand under this healing light. Feel it coming to you from every direction, pouring upon your crown center. Filling every cell of your being. Feel the light going to the very bones of your body, to the sinews, to the tendons, to every living piece of your body, of all of your bodies, your physical body, your astral body, your causal body. Feel them filled with light. Let the light of healing wash away the difficult karmas. Let it dissolve away the difficult karmas. Feel that healing light filling every cell of your being. As the karmas wash away, the body becomes lighter and lighter and lighter. And see yourself a few inches off of the ground, walking out of the waterfall. Above the pool, into the shrine. Looking at your being, realize that you are filled with the color of healing. Leaving the shrine, knowing that you can return here at any time. Return to your high place of meditation. You and your Ishta and you, the divine, and you and the divine. Be thou blessed. Be thou vivified and strengthened. May you see the goodness that you are. May you look into the mirror of your inner light and know that thou art good. Know that thou art a part of life. May you learn the right questions to ask, the questions that will bring you wisdom, that will bring you insight, that will bring you healing and joy. May you hear that which needs to be heard. May you see that which needs to be seen. May you walk ever more gently upon the earth and become an ever greater blessing unto all of those who enter your aura. Be kinder, be softer, be more gentler as you are able, and cultivate those skills so that you are ever more able, with ever greater ease and harmony. And know that thou art good. And from goodness, only goodness can come forth. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Thank you for the blessings of your presence. Thank you for being here today. May your life be ever happier and more joy-filled. Namaste.